Hey everyone, it is Shannon. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time stopping by, welcome and thank you for joining me. I just want to get right into what I want to talk about today, and that is why men push away good women. I came across a video a few months ago by Let's Rap podcast, and the creator of the video, Physiological, had done his own video as to why men waste good women. I really enjoyed his perspective and just really wanted to give my own interpretation as to why I feel like men push away good women. If you haven't done so already, I highly recommending checking out Let's Rap podcast and Physiological. They have a lot of great content over there. So in Physiological's video, he had mentioned that when a man knows that he has a good woman, he knows that she's a good woman. And although he may desire a connection with this woman, he may not always tend to go after it, even if it is something that would benefit him in a positive sense. Instead, a man would prefer to go for women that just bring him more of an experience as far as going out on multiple dates, going out on trips together, having more of like a physical sexual relationship, and not something that has really any depth to it. Pretty much just wanting to have fun with these women. Now, the thing is that when men, and even women too, people in general, when we get so accustomed to doing the same thing over and over again, we create behavioral patterns, right? So, in my personal opinion, I feel like men push away good women out of fear. You know, it is so much easier to go for the women that just give a man personal gratification in the sense of physical satisfaction, sexual satisfaction, just having fun. Like, it's a lot easier to just do that than it is to necessarily get involved with somebody that you have an actual deep connection with. This would require change, and a lot of times people don't like to make changes because change involves being uncomfortable. It embarks fear in the sense of creating uncertainty. It can even bring out the man's own personal insecurities within himself. You know, when a man has a good woman, some of his insecurities could revolve around wondering, is he stable enough for this good woman? Is he mentally and emotionally stable enough for her and himself? Now, when I say for her, I'm talking about, is he stable enough and secure within himself that he can hold space for her? Will he be able to handle her being open and vulnerable with him? Whether that is just her personally sharing her own life experiences and hardships that she's gone through, or just being open and vulnerable with him about how she feels about him. Or if a problem arises, is he going to be able to handle her asking him certain questions? You know? Some other insecurities could be as far as sorry about that. I just had to stop the video for a second. What was I saying? Oh, yes. Some other like insecurities that the man could be having could just be not secure or emotionally within himself. You know, like most men have a hard time opening up. You know, men have been so conditioned to not express themselves and not to be vulnerable. It's been actually looked down upon, you know? And I feel like it is so unfortunate, but because we are in a new era, I feel like men should be encouraged to be open and be vulnerable, not just with women that they're interested in with, but also within their friends and with themselves. You know, I think it takes being open and vulnerable with yourself. I think that is the first step in ordering to be able to be open and vulnerable with somebody else. You know, a lot of times we often like to self sabotage ourselves too. So this man could be just self sabotaging himself because he may not even feel worthy enough. You know, he may question himself like, why is this good woman interested in me? Why does she want to get to know me? You know? I mean, I know with me personally, I know that I am a good woman and I find it very attractive for a man to be open and vulnerable, you know? And I think a lot of times men don't give themselves enough credit, you know? I feel like if a man does have a good woman, he needs to have faith and have trust and know that she would hold space for him. You know, she's not going to judge him. If anything, she will try her best to encourage him to be open and vulnerable. I mean, I feel like if a woman is being open and vulnerable with you, I think that is a clear indication that she in herself is comfortable enough to express and show you her emotions. Yes, being a female and having feminine quality traits, it is a lot easier for women to express themselves, but I can tell you from my own personal experience, I never opened up to nobody. I still have a hard time sometimes opening up to people, but it's important to be open and expressive, you know? I know everybody is different, right? I just feel like if men know that they have a good woman, they should just get over the fear. Do their best to get over the fear. I know sometimes it's a lot easier said than done, but fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear does not necessarily exist, it's mainly your ego trying to stop you from the things that you want and things that you desire in your life. You know, there's absolutely no reason why a man and a good woman cannot share the same experiences that he's having with these other women that just give him an experience. Why can you not do that with this good woman? I bet you any money you doing it with the good woman would bring you a hell of a lot more joy than it would with just these other women. You know, sometimes the good woman sometimes gets the shitty end of the stick because these men are afraid to invest in them, you know? And I don't know if sometimes these men may feel like these good women, maybe they're intimidated by them. But I mean, you shouldn't allow those things to interfere. If anything, you should be inspired by this good woman. You shouldn't be intimidated by her. You know? You should give her a chance and get to know her. Right? I also do feel too like some men may come across a good woman who has kids of her own. And I can understand that would create a lot of pressure possibly for a man, especially with the children not being his own. You know, like I'm a mom of 3 kids, and I take it into consideration that when the time comes for me to get involved with a man, like I will not pressure that man at all when it comes to my kids. Like my kids are my kids. You know, my kids have a father, and I'm grateful that they have a father that's present in their life. But I do know that there are some women out there that are not as fortunate as I am, and they have had to, you know, step up to the plate and be mom and dad. And sometimes it gets overwhelming at times. Even being a single mom now, yeah, it's overwhelming at times. But my point is that there are some women out there that as soon as they get into a relationship with a man, they just initially expect that man to step up to the plate, you know? And I don't agree with that. But I just would like men, if you get involved with a woman that has children, you're not, how do I put this? It's not, you're not dating her children. Do you know what I mean? Like you're dating the woman. Yes, she has children, but those children are part of her life. You know what I mean? Like to me it's two separate things in a way. I don't know. I just know for me personally that if I were to get involved with a man, I would not pressure him to step up to the plate or like try to be dad. Do you know what I mean? But I can see how that would create pressure for a man, you know? Hmm. I just would really like men to understand that, and even women, because it does go both ways when it comes to fear, but it's like just try and give this good woman a chance. Not only will you see that you made the right decision, but she would just bring you so much joy. You know, the other thing too, it's like sometimes depending on the man's past relationships, like that's the other thing too, is like people hold a lot of pain and emotional baggage from their past relationships, and they don't always necessarily heal those wounds and stuff before getting involved into another relationship. They just tend to jump into the next one and think that all these feelings and emotions are just gonna, you know, dissolve or disappear, but it's not how it works, unfortunately. Yeah. I just I don't know why I always tend to like zone out when I make these videos, so I apologize. I just think men should just try. I mean, how are you going to know if it's going to work out if you don't try? You know? What is the worst thing that's going to happen if you give this good woman a chance? That it doesn't work out? Okay. I mean, I have a quote that says, I would rather take the risk and fall than not take the risk at all. You know, no matter how uncomfortable being open and vulnerable and self-expressive I may feel, I'm still do it anyways. You know, I think it's important to always go after what you want, you know, instead of looking at the fear as a bad thing. Turn it around and use it as a positive, you know? Step into the unknown. It's beautiful, you know? But I do understand that a lot of times fear stems from, you know, childhood, your subconscious, your ego, you know? Unfortunately, today, our society is really ego driven. Really, really ego driven. But I'm not even going to get into that right now. That's a whole other video. So I think the biggest thing that I would like to get across in this video is that whether a man has fear or insecurities within himself, you should still go after everything that you want. Insecurities are not a bad thing. Insecurities are actually really fucking beautiful, because they are the things that point out areas within yourself that need healing, that need to be changed, that need to be fixed. And the whole purpose of us humans being on this planet is so that we can grow and learn and expand and evolve mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You know, life is all about learning and exploring and expanding. So why are you going to allow fear to interfere with the things that you desire, with the things that you want in your life, especially within a life partner? I mean, at some point or another, doing the same thing over and over again and constantly just dating the same women, or just enjoying yourself with just having experience, eventually it's going to bring a sense of lack to you, or dissatisfaction, sorry. Eventually you'll get tired of it, you'll get bored of it, and then you're going to wonder why you didn't go for the good woman when you had her. Because by the time you figure that out, she's probably already going to be gone. So just know that if you have a good woman in your life right now, she's worth the effort. She's worth the investment. She will be there for you. She will accept you. She will love you unconditionally. You're good. You're bad. You're ugly. She will hold space for you and encourage you to be open and vulnerable with her, but not only with her, but within yourself, most importantly. I also have another perspective on this, but I'm going to save that for another video. I think this is where I'm going to leave it, because otherwise I'm just going to start rambling on about other things, and yeah. So let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I will check you all out on another video. Bye.